Welcome to my channel, The Day Tradester. Welcome to the stock markets and welcome to your path of financial freedom. While traveling this path to financial freedom, we're going to come across thousands and thousands of signals called trade alerts. Trade alerts are signals to possibly sell or buy a specific stock, which is derived from a variety of parameters based on the price action of the stock. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at our sell list to see which stocks send us trade alerts to possibly sell. Well, look at that. Right before we started our video, we hit an all-time high. All-time high was $6,481.72. We're just $1.70, almost $2 lower now. But what an exciting time to be in the markets. Is this exuberance based on the earnings this afternoon for NVIDIA, or is this rotation that's pushing the market up? Whatever it is, I'm glad that I'm part of it. And if you're part of it, that's amazing. If you're not part of it and you're watching these videos, I hope this inspires you to enter the markets. So today, when we take a look at our sell list, we're going to look at our stocks that are going to earnings this afternoon, and we've got 4 of them. And I believe all of these, my purchase price was higher than the current price, but we're going to go ahead and cancel some orders on those stocks just in case price moves up. So the first one we're going to look at is CrowdStrike, CRWD. This one has not been doing well since July 10th. It's just been in a downward move. I currently have 2 shares, and we're looking at an average of $500 per share. So I'm not even going to put a sell order on these. It's completely, almost unlikely, realistically, this is not going to have a $70 move prior to a downward move. So if it does go up, we'll have these 2 shares sitting here. The only reason I put sell orders on during earnings statements, if the price is currently lower than our purchase price, is in case there's a spike up before a downward move. So our next stop that we're going to take a look at is HPQ, Hewlett Packard, or HP Inc., excuse me. Same thing, we have 19 shares. We purchased these at roughly $34. Current price is $27. Now for HPQ, I currently have 3 too many shares. I like to max out at 16. I don't know how I ended up with 3 additional shares. That would be 4 books max with 4 shares max. So we're going to go ahead and cancel 3 of these orders. So we're going to cancel the highest priced orders. So we're going to cancel 3 for the $35.03. Then we're going to cancel 3 for the $35.17. And 1 more book, we're going to cancel the $34.72. Wait. Yes, because I only want 2 books if price spikes. So if price spikes up, we'll sell 2 books and we'll have 3 books left in our holdings. HP moving $8 is a little bit more realistic than CrowdStrike moving $70. So in case, again, we have these sell orders just in case price spikes up and then goes for a downward turn. We don't mind if it goes up and continues up because we always have remaining books on hand. So the next one we're going to look at is NVIDIA, NVDA, and we have 10 shares. And for NVIDIA, when I'm maxed out, I like to have 40 shares, but I only have 1 book, so that would be 10 shares per book. And I'm going to cancel this order because I don't want price to move up and then we miss the entire run of 10 shares. So as long as I'm down to 1 book, I will automatically cancel it no matter what, just in case the price moves up. If it moves down, then we'll take that downward slide in price. And our loss in value, it'll just be for a short term if it does go downward. I mean, NVIDIA is the largest company in the world and arguably the most important given the AI change that's happening in the world and the economy. If all this AI works and everybody's able to monetize it and use it in their business, there's not going to be much in our society that AI does not touch. If I was a gambling man, I would buy more shares of NVIDIA just to prepare for the possible move up. But I'm not. I make my decisions based strictly on price action. And once price moved below this line, we would have sold out of any shares that we would have had. But I've only had 10 shares. And I didn't want to completely sell out of NVIDIA, so we held on to them. All right, so the last one of our stocks that's going to earnings this afternoon is Snowflake. And again, we only have one share. That's one book. When I'm maxed out on Snowflake, that's 4 shares. So we're just going to cancel this because I don't want price to move up and it be a great earnings report and then price continue to move past our sell order. Snowflake is a software writer. So given the advent of AI, a lot of software companies that write software are actually going down a little bit just because the unknown capacity of AI to take over that particular job or that particular industry. Before writing software, it used to be a very highly skilled white-collar job. But now there are multiple forms of AI generators that many people who are less skilled can write as good or even better software programs than the experts that went to college and got their coding degrees. Or those who didn't go to college are just naturally gifted. Either way, it's possible that Snowflake might not have a good outlook for the near future and their price might go down. But just in case, my policy, my standard rule is to have at least one book going into earnings of any company that we have. All right, so for the 4 companies that we have going to earnings, what we just basically canceled sell orders. We did not place any sell orders. The first one that we have to take a look at that triggered a sell alert is DLO. D Local Limited. Now we currently have 16 shares, which is one book. We currently have the price at $14.30. We had price move below our fast moving average yesterday, even though price ended up going higher for the day, but we definitely have a continuation of price falling below and continuing down below our fast moving average. So I bought 16 shares at $14.71. Unfortunately, 40 cents higher than our current price. So we're going to set a sell order, come into our watch list, right click, sell. We're going to be placing a sell order for 16. And we're going to place it for 1 cent higher. If we take 10% of the first place digit, which is a 10. So 10% of that is 1 cent. So we're going to be setting the sell order for $14.72. Good till cancel, extended hours, confirm and send, and there's our sell order. So if this is in a long-term downward trend, there are many times during a downward trend that we have a spike up, like here, maybe even here. But if it does spike up, maybe we'll be able to capture that sale and sell it and earn 16 cents in profit. Next stock we're going to be looking at is Johnson & Johnson. That's J&J. We had price move below our fast moving average yesterday. We still have price below our fast moving average. However, it's higher than it was yesterday. So this isn't a true continuation of Johnson & Johnson moving down. We do have the MACD in a downward trend. We do have the RSI that's sort of leveled off, but still could this be a longer downward trend for Johnson & Johnson? You know, that could be contingent on NVIDIA. If NVIDIA goes up today, if they have a great earnings statement, Johnson & Johnson more than likely tomorrow will move down. However, if NVIDIA has an earnings statement and the investors do not like what they hear or they don't like what they see, maybe the analyst estimates weren't met, but to the degree of what the investors would like to see, even though NVIDIA might have made a profit, it just wasn't as much of a profit as they were hoping, or maybe their forecast for the rest of the year and into next year isn't as looking as good as they would like to have been. So it's possible if NVIDIA goes down tomorrow, Johnson & Johnson would take the opposite direction. So Johnson & Johnson's probably, the investment of Johnson & Johnson is going to be contingent on the move that NVIDIA makes after today's earnings. Look at that, and we now even have a green candle. It just went from red to green, and now it's at white. So we'll see what the bears and bulls, how they end up ending the day. We'll if I can remember, we'll come back and take a look at Johnson & Johnson before we close out the video. All right, we only have one more stock on our sell list. It's an ETF for utilities. That's XLU. Now, we had both price move across both averages, the slow and the fast, and then we also had the fast moving average cross below our slow moving average, which is a trigger for me to possibly sell out of everything, of all of my stocks. For this particular equity, I currently have 16 shares, and that is 4 books of 4 shares each. Now, we currently have 4 shares that we bought higher than the current price. I have 12 other shares. Now, we bought those 12 at roughly $83. Now, since we had this downward move 2 days ago, price has been slowly moving up. And one reason I might be slowly moving up is because it's a utilities ETF, and utilities are they're forecast to be doing amazing and outstanding because of the need of electricity for data centers. And the number of how many are being built right now, there's over 4,000 data centers that are under construction right now in the US. And when they do come online, they are going to be drawing a massive amount of power. So I'm not going to sell any of my shares right now. I will wait for a true continuation. If this does fall, it's extremely unlikely that it will fall past the my purchase price. If it does fall a little bit prior to say for tomorrow or in the next several days, if it falls below, I want it to fall below the close of this candle 2 days ago. We'll just call it $85. So when price moves below $85, I should be able to sell the 12 shares and earn a small profit. But for right now, we're going to hold on to these and see what price action does. Our MACD has a pretty good signal. We've got less volume here. We don't have a continued straight drop, so the overall momentum of the move appears to be slowing down. Please, if you could, go ahead and click that like, share, and subscribe buttons. With the market going up, we did not receive a lot of trade alerts to possibly sell. Let's see if we have more alerts to possibly buy. Now, if you watched yesterday's video, you'll see that when we bought stocks, we bought enough that it took our balance down to roughly $15. And because I did that, the money that we show here, that is money that I'm working with in my day trading strategy. So even though we've had a good day and we've had quite a few triggers both today and yesterday, trigger because of price action, we've got quite a few stocks that we can look at to possibly buy, but I don't have enough money. Most of my money is tied into many other stocks, and roughly 80% of the stocks I currently have are going up in value. And I really don't have any stocks that's going down. Most of my stocks that aren't truly going up in value, they're really just consolidating. So there's some up and down moves, but they're just mainly moving sideways. Now, if any of those stocks do break down further, I may choose to sell. Right now, I don't have that part of my strategy. Strategy I have in place right now for my holdings that when price drops below is I hold them. Whether it takes a day, a week, month, a year, I just keep holding them. The main reason I hold them is because almost every single stock I have is either part of the S&P 500 or it's a profitable company and it's a growth stock. I don't deal in penny stocks. I don't deal in conjecture, meaning that I'm not trying to find stocks that might make a big move in the next day or week or even in a month. That's a very small, that's either a small cap or mid cap. Any small caps I have, they are recognized by analysts to be around for the possible next decade or so. And that decision is what will help me. And if you choose to follow me, help you make money in the long run. If you're looking at my videos and you're looking for a get rich quick scheme or somebody that's going to make you believe you can get rich quick, that's not me. I'm a realist, and I want to help you with sincerity, reality, and integrity. And that's why I hold on to my stocks. So if you are following me, then you would be able to realize gains over the long run. All right, I got in just a moment too late for some earnings reports releases. So we've got snow. We see we've got some upward movement. We've gone from 201 to 211. So snow was released at 405. HPQ it's not expected to go to earnings release until 4:15, and crowd was also at 5 minutes after 4. So snow, we've got a great report for snow. Hopefully that's a good indication for NVIDIA. NVIDIA is going to be at 420, so I'm really excited to show you how that price might move. That price can move much more drastic than Snowflake typically, but we'll see how it moves today. Now, I don't know if HP is moving in sympathy to another earnings release. I will go online momentarily and look up to make sure that HP is to still be scheduled at 4:15. So here we had CrowdStrike was supposed to be, we're going to remove this drawing, was supposed to be 4:05, although it's not moving much. Maybe I mixed up the CrowdStrike and HPQ. So I'm going to go ahead and on my other monitor go into earnings whispers. Earnings whispers. And it's taking a little bit of time to load. So Snowflake's moving. I had a sell order on that earlier. And it's blown right by that sell order. So I'm glad I turned that sell order off. And this is why I turned it off. I would really have hated to have sold. All right, so here you can see we've got 4:20. So time for NVIDIA. 5 minutes after 4 for Snowflake. 5 minutes after 4 for CrowdStrike, and 4:15 for HP. So my times were right. I don't know if HP reported early. It's possible that they did, but most of the times these times are very accurate. So we're going to close out. Actually, we're just going to move it back over to our other monitor. And we'll keep tabs on that, but I'm excited to see what happens at 4:15. Maybe this moves even more. So NVIDIA, we've got some upward movement on that. I did have $183 is what we had 10 shares previously purchased for NVIDIA. So I just looked now. The Snowflake I had at $225.10 is what my purchase price was. So at least we're close up. We're near that price. We haven't blown by it. I was mistaken on that. So we can go ahead and remove this drawing. We CrowdStrike. That didn't really get a lot of movement. I'm not going to assume that HP reported early, but with this type of move, it probably is. They probably did. Maybe these times were interchanged. I doubt it. But I'm going to go off video, and I'll be back in a few minutes, which is almost immediate for you, just so we can capture the HP move, or at least try to at the 4:15. CrowdStrike's getting some movement down, so maybe it was released. All right, we've got some movement on Crowd. So it looks like they did release their earnings statement. It's not showing up on the Whisper earnings so far. I'll pull that back over here. You can see where Snowflake, here's what they reported. They've got a nice surprise up. HP did report, even though they weren't supposed to until 4:15, or at least that's what they were scheduled according to this website. So we'll come back. I will not be coming back at 4:15. I'll be coming back right around 4:19 on my time, which will be just in a few seconds on your time. So we'll put this back over on the other monitor, and I'll be back shortly in a second for you. And I'm back. We have less than a minute. We should be able to see, if you keep your eye over here on NVIDIA, we should see a pretty drastic move. Hopefully it'll be up. You can see HP went up $29, but now it's back down to the $27 range. Snowflake is still going up, and CrowdStrike is down and staying down. So we've got maybe less than 30 seconds for NVIDIA. I didn't time it, didn't track it. So just keep your eye on that, and you'll know right when the time hits 4:20. Well, or not, because it had just turned 420. So no drastic move immediately. That's not common. That's pretty uncommon. However, we are going up. It's just no way near as drastic as I thought it was going to be. So that was a little teased you on that. Look, HP has dropped all the way back down. So NASDAQ and the triple Qs just sold. All right, let's just we'll keep our eye over here. So this price, it did go past the sell order that I canceled. That was for 10 shares. So we are now at a small gain on those 10 shares. Oh no, that's not good. No, well, hopefully this is not the direction it goes for the rest of the evening. It would have been better just to keep the sell order in place, capture that profit, and then we won't be down this loss. So it looks like they're going down. Let's pull in the earnings. Those numbers haven't been released yet to the earnings whispers. That hasn't been updated. So I will be back in a few seconds. All right, I waited until the earnings whispers was updated. We've got reported earnings of $1.05. That was a surprise of 7.1%. Don't know about the reported revenue growth yet. We haven't gotten that. It hasn't updated, but at least we've got a small surprise on the earnings update. So maybe it went down because it just wasn't as big as the analysts had expected. As a new trader, I don't understand why so much is put on analysts' projections. I don't know why the stocks don't move based strictly and solely on the companies themselves. I guess that's just part of the industry. Then the industry itself, its traders, the funds, the big ETF holders, they make money on volatility. So if over the years they decided to put emphasis on the analyst projections and estimates, giving that more weight than the actual returns or the gains or the losses of the individual companies, that would certainly add to my suspicion that they just want volatility, because you just saw the earnings report. You saw the surprise was a 7.1% surprise over the analyst expectations. So as for comparison, you can see where Snowflake had a 35-cent reported earnings, which is almost 30% surprise. And you can see how much Snowflake has jumped up. So if we look at CrowdStrike, do we have those numbers yet? Yeah, so here we have the guidance was up for CrowdStrike. They had a 12%, but they're down. They fell from 422 to 390. So we're looking at a $30 decline in CrowdStrike, even though they have a good earnings report and they have good future guidance. So again, just because you have a good earnings report with great guidance doesn't mean that the stock is going to go up. So we'll just update one more time. Went back, going to pull over the earnings schedule, earnings whispers. We're going to update that, see if it gives us any numbers on the reported revenue, see if that was up or down. My guess is that it's down a little bit. I'm not sure. We'll find out. I'll find out later this evening why NVIDIA went down. They have earnings surprise. So as a new trader, I'm not completely informed. Don't know how to schedule or plan to find the actual earnings, all of the earnings data, to be as informed as possible for you guys. But for now, we've got all of our information. We're going to remove this drawing. And I'll go back to my day Tradestor chart. And we'll see how the SP performed for today. We closed at an all-time high, so that's awesome. So we closed at $6,481.40. That's right there. You can see that. And in the earlier in the video, I said I was hopefully would come back to Johnson & Johnson if I remembered, to see which way the stock might be moving. Based on NVIDIA, I guess we'll have a better indication tomorrow. I don't know where it was before the earnings release, but I could go get a better indication if we come back to our 1 day, 1 minute chart. So now this is what my suspicion was, is if NVIDIA went down, then Johnson & Johnson and other defensive stocks would go up. There is a correlation from defensive stocks going up when tech stocks go down, and the opposite is true as well. So we're just going to go back to the SPX. And there we are on that. And we're going to come back to our 3-month, 1 day chart. And we're back to our base chart. Now let's take a look at our trading results for the day. Now, our gains for the day are $232.62, and that is from my day trading activities. We didn't sell any stocks for today. We only placed one sell order, and that was for DLO. So these are my day trading realized gains. The portfolio performance on this current account, on the new account, we're looking at 1.14 compared to the S&P 500 at 0.88. So we're looking at just shy of 0.3% that we are outperforming the S&P 500. The performance for the old account up to August 18th, we're sitting at 16.26 compared to 10.54. So we are currently at 17.4% gains for the year. Compared to the S&P 500, a little over 11. So we are just over a 6% improved performance over the S&P 500. So there we are. There's our gains. There's our trades for the day, or rather there's our lack of trades for the day. So we actually had 14 stocks between the triggers today and the triggers so far earlier this week that we did not buy, because we didn't actually have a continuation up in price from when the actual trigger occurred. But since all of my money is already tied up in stocks, and most of them, again, as I said earlier, they are rising. However, some of these I believe would rise a little faster, but I am not going to tweak my strategy yet. And we're going to play out this year, keep collecting data on my strategy, and I'll collect data on these particular stocks that I thought that I think might increase at a higher rate than some of the stocks that I currently have our money in. And next week we'll make some changes to the strategy that might help improve portfolio performance. That is another day down. I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you have an amazing Wednesday afternoon.